Hello everyone, my name is Syed. I'm the Chief Technology Officer of DigiKYC, and today we will be presenting you the decentralized identity platform and how the blockchain could help to solve the KYC traditional problems.
It's loosely estimated that any corporation that has a turnover of about $10 billion or more usually spends around $150 to $160 million per year just on KYC related resources and costs. I'm Sudarshan, and I'm currently the co-CBO of DigiKYC. Um, we're a team of 5 members uh, working rigorously around the clock to make sure our vision comes to reality. Know your customer, or KYC as it's often called, is the process by which regulators among different jurisdictions all over the world use to keep an eye on the corporations or institutions that provide services based on trust. So, financial institutions and specifically banks or stockbrokers or exchanges, for that matter, usually have to comply with the KYC regulations of their particular local jurisdiction. KYC costs usually include any costs that are associated with compliance with the local jurisdiction. So each business has to maintain a set of a database, basically, of the customers that it serves. And if it's a financial institution specifically, then it has to maintain a wider database of and complying with the AML rules, that is anti-money laundering rules of the local and the worldwide jurisdiction also.
The KYC forms are the traditional forms whenever you open an account with the bank or any financial or any service provider. They usually ask as a part of their customer onboarding that you have to provide those forms, complex forms to be filled by the customer. And they have, I think everybody, all of us interacting with those forms, which are quite complex. Sometimes it's like 5 to 10 pages, and it depends on the financial entity that you are interacting with. They are in quite complex in nature. And what we have seen that we will be requested to fill manually in old ways, but now it's happened through digital means, and usually we have some link and through which we will be filling those information which we filled in the traditional forms. The biggest problem that we can find out in the current KYC infrastructure that is existing, not just specific to financial but non-financial, it has high cost. The cost of maintaining the KYC is keep increasing. Because of the procedural problems and the traditional processes, it is one of the key area why still the unbanked population is increasing. The verification time for KYC is quite high. Because of the isolation in nature of the such centralized KYC. Another key problem that we see, this KYC forms are not segmentation specific. For example, if it is a poor who is earning $100 and if someone is like Bill Gates who is richer, the segmentation and the capturing the information is remain the same. So this is another problem that which correlate to the unbanked and why we see the MyPesa and other solutions are popular because they reduce the time on KYC specifically. Then we see from the bank perspective, there are a lot of audit errors. The data is not accurate and updated. Usually there are some mistakes and some typo errors which lead to big problems.
At DigiKYC, we believe that blockchains can bring a welcome solution to the traditional KYC market. Making use of blockchain-based solutions such as smart contracts, blockchain and artificial intelligence, and a few more concepts that we're developing can help revolutionize the KYC market and bring down the onboarding costs, the friction, the constant criticisms that the KYC systems face for being too slow, and all other problems.
So the solution we are offering and through DigiKYC platform is to create a decentralized KYC, where the customer has the sole sovereign identity, and he can approve what he can share with the financial or the service provider he is interacting with. So instead of having the KYC, which is living in isolation, based on DigiKYC, what we are doing is to bring that or put it into the chain and offer a decentralized solution to tackle all those traditional problems that KYC is facing due to isolation. So in our process, because traditional KYC are usually in the pull model, but in our KYC, we are offering two different models. One is the push model and the pull model. In the push model, customer create an identity in the chain, and whenever customer like to have a service provision from any bank or any other entity, he will push his information to that service provider for the onboarding his request, and then service provider will receive the request, and instead of storing the KYC himself, he can pull this information and get this information that is forwarded by the customer push from the chain to the bank system. Similarly, the second model that we offer is the pull model. And the pull model is basically whenever you have any specific requirement and the service provider would like to pull your information because of some update in your profile, he can send this request, and then customer will receive the request, and he will receive the customer request with attributes, what exactly he's looking from or the bank is looking from the customer data. So if he needs just his address to be received, then the customer, or if he wants his employer details, then when the customer receive the request, he will approve or reject, and based on the attributes. So maybe I will just share my address information. I don't want to share my current employer. So based on this, this response go back to the service provider, and he can perform his operation on the KYC that he pulled from the chain.
Hello, good afternoon. My name is Yongdong Kim, and I'm in charge. I am the CMO of DigiKYC, and today I would like to introduce to you the topic of market analysis and analyzing the current market of KYCs, and also our competitors and what kind of marketing strategy we need to adopt to become a competitive participant in this field. So starting with market analysis, KYC, or Know Your Customer, it has become pivotal in the digital world, and large financial institutions need to identify ways to trust foreign banks and have more transparency in a recipient's profile. So we first looked at the barriers that the current KYC process has.
So at DigiKYC, our main aim is to replace the traditional KYC management system with our plan of a decentralized KYC management system. A decentralized KYC management system can help in many ways, such as reducing the friction, reducing costs, and most importantly, it doesn't mandate people to comply with the KYC regulations again and again. So they can just comply with it once and distribute it across all platforms.
So by utilizing our decentralized blockchain KYC utility, which can be shared by multiple banks, we can make a game-changing, innovative process that will reduce the burden of many processes and also provide more transparency and visibility for both the financial institution and also the individual customer that is using our product. So through our specialized team of experts, we at DigiKYC will launch an innovative, decentralized Know Your Customer to meet the needs of the growing market and tackle matters like AML, anti-money laundering, and CTF, counter-terrorism financing.
Let me talk about a few of our competitors. We have 4 or 5 competitors who are trying to provide similar products and services like ours, and trying to decentralize the KYC market as well. So one of the most important competitors is Argo Solutions. Argo Solutions is headquartered in South Korea. It provides a similar AML KYC model, and it aims to provide solutions to the local community first, and expanding worldwide as time passes on. There's KYC Chain. KYC Chain provides a B2B solution for KYC database transfer, and they have a review and processing part of the KYC process that aims to decrease the workflow and increase efficiency among the KYC management system. This Tradle and KYC Legal, both are similar companies trying to provide similar solutions. The KYC Legal has a verification system embedded into its blockchain that helps the verification of KYC faster. The DigiKYC aims to learn from all these competitors and at the same time make sure that its products and services are a step ahead of what they aim to provide. DigiKYC also aims to start off with a global audience first, so that it reduces, it brings down the roadmap of DigiKYC.
The barriers that we would like to explain was the KYC resource still remains a very big challenge to financial institutions, and the cost of the procedures in verifying the KYC related procedure increase. It's keep on increasing every year, and in 2017 it was $150 million, which is a great burden to financial institutions. And also the onboarding verification process of a new client. The process is increasing. The length, time span that we need to make confirmations is increasing. And right now, corporate customers claim that on average, it takes about 32 days for onboarding a new client. So we would like to reduce the duration of that onboarding process. And financial institutions expect onboarding times to raise in the next year by 12%. So that is why it is more important to decrease this time.
The whole idea that we are presenting is that the consensus algorithm is proof of importance, and using the proof of importance, we can do the scoring for the different identity. And the use case is that if the bank wants to have the customer identity, he can pull the request or push depending on the use case, and he can, based on the scoring that is available on the chain, he can decide whatever action he would like to take.
Coming to the part of regulatory framework, wherein we have to be sure that we are in compliance with most of the laws and regulations of all the countries that we're planning to deal with. We have researched that most countries have a similar, almost similar KYC AML framework. This will help us in formulating different templates, wherein not much changes are there necessarily there, but we will be ready for if any changes arise. So Deloitte released a recent survey regarding the KYC differentiation between all the countries that they're working in. So that survey really helped us to analyze and note the differences in frameworks and the similarities in frameworks to work ahead. In America, there's usually the KYC AML framework and the AML CFT2 framework, with I think Yong just talked about. So it's easy for us to form templates when customers can make use of those templates to just put in the details and change the templates as and when they wish, if they wish to. So if a person living in America and wishes to form a template to a GDPR compliant template, he just has to go to the application and change the template which is compliant to GDPR.
Of course, we are looking into the same as usual startup funding or financing cycle. Initially, we will be looking to to secure the seed funding to initialize the whole implementation and development, which actually going to have the launch by end of quarter 3 or 4 in 2019. And the whole idea is that what are the possible alliances and mergers that we can make in future, our company to grow and have a more footprint by strategic collaboration with other entities, and then moving forward to IPO. But this is the whole scenario how we can capitalize on our proposition with more having a more aggressive and synergical kind of collaboration with the banks and other entities to grow this in good manner. So the whole idea is that we are our roadmap, product roadmap is we will be focusing on 2019 on the individual KYC version, which is evolution version, and eventually launching the business version in 2020. And moving forward, we are going to make more feature releases in 2021, capitalizing our 2 products, individual and business, eventually increasing our roadmap with other professional services by 2023. The business model that we will be suggesting are, of course, we need to have some capex for the start of our project, and that we possibly looking into the seed or ICO to secure the funding. The possible case is to secure through seed funding, and then moving on the operation OPEX area that we are looking into the either we will be putting some fees on the subscription of those entities or who are getting the benefit out of the chain. Similarly, if there is any transaction or network usage base or mining cost that fee that can be added to the beneficiary to to cover the cost of the system. Similarly, there will be some extrinsic token-based fee that can be added for other application and other use cases.
This finally brings me to the end of our business model research, when we have formulated a detailed plan about our decentralized KYC-based platform. In this research, we have included all our research regarding marketing, regarding regulatory framework, regarding the costs that could be incurred, regarding the problems that we're solving, and especially our roadmap, which we formulated for a 5-year period. I hope that you found this project of ours informative, and I hope you could give us a feedback based on what you found, what you think we'd like to know. Thank you, and I hope you enjoyed it.